Hello Pisces, and welcome to your love and relationship reading for the next 30 days. So I want to talk about compatibility to begin with. Since I have our relationship grid out here, I'm going to pull a card for each one of these to see how the relationship energy is shaping up. In general, Pisces, you're over here in this column with the other water signs. Water signs know how to communicate to each other emotionally, and they like that. So highest compatibility is with other water signs, Cancer and Scorpio, and other Pisces, of course. Second tier to that would be these earth signs, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Then next would be the air signs. They're going to be a little bit more cerebral. They're going to be less in touch with their emotions, at least according to you. And then the least compatible would be the fire signs, so fire and water, right? That makes sense. I will say, however, there's a lot of things to factor into this because you are probably watching this, Pisces, because that is your sun sign. That is the, time of year that you were born. When is Pisces? It's February, March time frame. And if that would be where the sun was in your sign of Pisces. So that's hence your sign. But we also have where the moon was, what sign was ascending, where Venus was, and Venus is important because we have a love reading here. So if you're interested in looking up your sun, moon, rising, Venus is kind of like your love language. And where those are and like the characteristics of those signs, I have a link down below in the description so you can get your birth chart or get the birth chart of your person. There's always jokes about people in relationships, usually women asking men what time they were born, like the exact time that they were born and where they were born to get that birth chart information. But it's because it's fun and interesting. So here we go. Connection. So this is the overall energy related to your next 30 days in relationships. So connections seem like they're really important to you. The frequency of connection supports our ability to find alignment and resonance with others, things, and ideas. What I love about the connection here as well is blue in these cards represent water, represent emotions. So emotional connections as well, connections with people, connections with emotions. And these don't always have to be romantic connections. They can be familial connections and connections with our friends and work. So let's start off with Aries, and the reason I start with Aries and the reason that this is like this is because Aries starts off the zodiac, and you're the end of the zodiac here, and it starts over with Aries and goes along this way. That's why it's like this. There's a method to the madness. So Aries, relationship with Aries and Pisces, energy. Okay. This wants to come out. We have the High Priestess. So that's interesting because the High Priestess is about, there's some mystery here, and I can see that between you and Aries, mystery about what they're thinking and what they're feeling. The High Priestess kind of has this idea of duality. There's usually pillars behind her, and she's kind of in the middle, so bringing some things together, bringing two things together that maybe aren't always naturally the best communicators because they communicate differently, and using your intuition in that. So it's important to, maybe Aries, their motives, what they do, how they think, how they feel isn't immediately open to you. And I would say expect the best and until they prove differently. A lot of times we do the opposite there. I think you and Aries have a lot to talk about, a lot to connect with. It's just opening up the way that you communicate, and it might be a deeper communication because it's a little bit more difficult for you than you would normally expect or normally go through. So that is interesting. Relationship wise, romantically, the High Priestess is really not a romantic card. So it seems a little bit more of like a sterile relationship in that way, but it definitely very cerebral and definitely opening up new avenues for you. Taurus, between Pisces and Taurus. Okay, interesting, because Scorpio, I think, got the Ace of Cups for Taurus too, but the two of these came out. So Ace of Cups and Two of Cups, like high probability that if you want to start a relationship with a Taurus, that it is going to go well, that you guys are connecting on an emotional level, that feeding each other's souls, very beautiful. Ace of Cups, brand new beginnings. If you're currently in a relationship with Taurus, it just seems like there's new opportunities and new things coming up. Remember to fill your cup, as it were, first. Make sure you're full. And I think, but they don't, it's not draining. It's very reciprocal, and it feels really, really good. Two of Cups is kind of like the best card that you can get in a relationship reading. It hasn't shown up in any of my readings so far. Ace of Cups has. But yeah, so high likelihood that a romantic relationship can occur with a Taurus in the next 30 days, or deepening of one. And again, that could be their sun, moon, Venus as a Taurus. Gemini, we've got the Emperor reverse. So Gemini looks like, I would almost steer clear of Gemini. I kind of feel like, you feel Gemini is being really demanding, very self-centered. If you absolutely have to work with a Gemini, it would be, they might even seem kind of controlling to you. So it can be like really difficult to communicate with them in the next 30 days. If you really do have to communicate with them, work with them, if they are your partner, and the next 30 days it just kind of seems off, like work on that connections, work on those emotional connections, and make sure that you have an open line of communication. Like Gemini will communicate, but they're going to be very logical, where you might be a little bit more emotional. So putting yourself at that higher perspective and seeing that, and not getting your emotions involved to begin with, would be very helpful. Cancer, Two of Pentacles. So on the same page with Cancer, very reciprocal energy, maybe not as like romantically as inclined as like the Taurus, but certainly something where you guys are balancing each other out and going back and forth, and a really good relationship, especially in working together. Couples have to work together too. You have to get things done, but you certainly are picking up each other's slack and helping each other, and a very beautiful there with Cancer, and I'm not surprised. So Leo and Pisces. Leo and Pisces. Oh, no, I just flipped over like half the deck there. So I'm going to do this again. Leo and Pisces, because this one wanted to come out and it was in the middle of that. So the Hierophant. Again, like a very kind of sterile energy here with Leo. So maybe not so much as a romantic kind of thing, but working relationship seems like they would be a good person to go to for information. Even, this Aries as well. I think they're open to sharing ideas with you, sharing knowledge. It doesn't seem like romantically so much as, they're guiding you, helping you, coaching you kind of thing, even both of them. Interesting that these both have like that third eye going on. Very mystical, kind of almost spiritual, and helping you attain some things. But the relationship wise, and even with both of them, would be more of like a student-teacher kind of relationship. Virgo, we get the Princess of Cups. Look, another beautiful kind of relationship type of card. New beginning. Princess of Cups can be like some very unexpected things, you know, that could arise with Virgo. Very emotionally supportive, and again, like a new beginning. It's not quite the Ace, where the Ace is like all of these possibilities. The Princess of Cups, though, is a new journey. However, it's a little bit more sculpted out, crafted out. Libra and Pisces. Libra and Pisces, we have the Star. Oh, we've got two. We've got the Knight of Swords and we've got the Star. So a little bit of turbulence here with Libra. The Knight of Swords reverse would be some miscommunications with them. Not being on the same wavelength, really not really understanding what they're doing, where they're going. If this is a romantic partnership, you need to spend extra time on communication, pretend that it's Mercury in retrograde. And that would be, you know, don't assume that they got your email. Don't assume that they got your text. Make sure, follow through with what they're saying. And it may be, they may be a little short with you. They may not communicate with you in the way that you want. They may be using logic against you. They may not be taking into your feelings into account on things. However, there's the Star there. The Star means that it's probably a miscommunication. They probably didn't intend it the way that it came out. And there is hope there. So don't overreact when you're speaking with Libra. Ask them to reiterate something. Let them know how you feel about it. Let them know that they, you know, because I don't think they intend to hurt your feelings. It's just coming off that way. Scorpio. So Pisces and Scorpio, next 30 days, we get the Nine of Swords reversed. So if you have had a little bit of an issue with Scorpio, and this is interesting when I say this because, you know, even though these signs are really compatible, it just means that we probably deal with them more, and we think that we understand them more. And there's a higher propensity of, because we do deal with them more, that they kind of hurt your feelings or break your heart a little bit. However, with Scorpio, it seems like whatever misunderstandings that you have with them, almost kind of almost a Libra vibe here, it's coming out of that. You may have had some anxiety around your relationship. If this is somebody you are in a relationship with, if you're in a relationship with Scorpio, you may have had some sleepless nights. You may have you've been staying, but it seems like it's unwarranted. It seems like it's not really, again, not really necessary. The Knight of Swords is like it's darkest before the dawn. You could have had some worries together. At work relationship, maybe you guys were worried about what was going on with your company. Family relationship, you could have had some of the same concerns or same worries, but it seems kind of like unwarranted. You were worrying about things that didn't need to be worried about, and you're probably, because you do communicate on that emotional level pretty well, you probably were kind of like escalating the situation a little bit more than it needed to be, but you're coming out of it, so that's the positive. Sagittarius and Pisces. Sagittarius and Pisces. Oop. Three of Swords reversed. So looks like some heartbreak with the Sagittarius. And again, miscommunication, like this whole section of the zodiac here, not really speaking your language, and you're not speaking theirs. And again, like it's working out over here. You might have to let Libra know. I think Scorpio knows. You're just working through it. But Sagittarius could have like almost intentionally broken your heart. Sorry about that. This talks about maybe forgiveness though as a way to get over it, as important, and maybe they don't deserve it, but forgiveness for yourself. I almost feel like Sagittarius might be really acting in their own interests and not yours at this time. So if this is a romantic relationship, like that's kind of tough. If this is a work relationship, they are doing things for themselves and maybe they're not taking you into account. Maybe it's your work bestie and they're like leaving you for another job, or you know, it's a family member and they just didn't even think about how you would feel about something going on in the family or a decision that they've made. Things that they're saying. So be careful with Sagittarius. They may not, you know, this 3 of Swords hits in reverse, so they might care what your perspective is, but they certainly didn't take you into account when they've done what they've done or made their decision. Capricorn. So we get the Hanged Woman. Hanged Woman is a little bit about stopping for a moment, taking a break, taking a pause, looking at the situation, usually because we've got kind of a crossroads here with Capricorn, making some sort of decisions. Which direction are you going to go? Which direction are they going to go? Are you both acting as one? Are you going in on opposite directions? Those are the types of questions that you're asking yourself. You're taking a different perspective, almost like a ground up perspective, because she's hanging upside down here. The Hanged Woman is like, this card is ultra interesting to me because it has a lot of like, it's usually a little morbid, somebody hanging upside down on a cross, like being crucified upside down, who, I forget who did that, but they did it because Jesus was crucified right side up, so they wanted to be upside down. So it has some connotations to that in religion, but also traitors were crucified upside down. But also at the time when the tarot deck was being created, which is why I love this card, is like yogis or spiritual teachers used to hang upside down to, you know, get that blood flowing to their brain, to get some more insight, to gain like a connection with a higher up. So I like that interpretation of it, because it's usually because we're not stuck in this moment, but we need to sit in this moment for a minute to really feel it, to really decipher it, to really understand where we are, where they are, where we're going. So those are the types of questions that you're kind of asking right now with Capricorn. Aquarius, so this one wants to come out right away. We got the 2 of Wands reverse. It looks like that's interesting. Another kind of stall here with Aquarius because this is in reverse. So Hangman, Hangwoman, a natural stall. 2 of Wands is actually kind of a planning card and we want to move forward, but when we have it in reverse, again, like some blockages here with Aquarius. So it looks like you're having some issues here with these air signs and communication. Aquarius is one of those signs who's very independent, so they might be making some decisions without you that you don't fully understand, especially in terms of planning. If you are in a relationship with them, you obviously would like to talk to them and ask them, hey, what's going on here? And get their perspective on that and understand that they may talk to you in a way that, you know, they're an Aquarius, they're a little quirky, and they're also an air sign. So they may not, they talk to you in their way. They're not talking to you in the way that you want to be talked to usually. And if this is somebody that you're working with, you kind of need to make sure that you're on the same page, because if you got to collaborate, you got to work together. So it might be a little bit difficult because it seems like they're keeping some things from you, whether that is intentional or unintentional. And then family member, kind of same, family member, friend, kind of the same thing. Like what's kind of going on behind the scenes with Aquarius. And it can be like more depth than you think it is, and probably is more depth than you think it is. So don't take things personally. Just you know, ask and find out. So Pisces, and I've been reading these, is kind of like your relationship with yourself and then your relationship with other Pisces. Only trying to get one card, but sometimes two come out, and they come out here. I love this because it's a little bit of putting some things in order and maybe letting go of some intrusive thoughts, maybe not taking some things so personally too. So I think this is hopefully this was a good conversation, that everybody has their own perspective and they're acting out of their own kind of way that they see the world, which is different than the way that you see the world. You see the world in your way and they have their own way, and sometimes it seems like a very alien way that they see the world, but it's sculpted by their perceptions and their experiences, and we all have different experiences. If you're lucky enough to have a sibling, I think, you know, usually siblings are pretty different, and we've got this usually the same parents, and we've grown up in the same house, and we can have a completely different perspective in that way. So understand that somebody coming from a different family can have a way different perspective than you. And I think this Five of Swords reversed is you allowing that, or understanding that, and maybe agreeing to disagree with some of these people. Maybe particularly Sagittarius, and some of these air signs here. And then Four of Pentacles is really putting some things in order, understanding, building on that understanding. It kind of does relate to the Hanged Woman a little bit, because it is a feeling of kind of sitting with something for a while, usually finances though. So the next 30 days, maybe don't go nuts, don't go crazy on relationships and spending. You don't have to spend money to have connections. Maybe more of a meeting of the minds than a physical kind of thing. It might be difficult getting you out of your house for whatever reason, Pisces. Maybe you don't feel like going out, but that doesn't mean you need to stop communication. So keep talking to everybody, especially when they're acting in a way where you're like, what the heck is going on there? Make sure that you know, contact them and figure that out, and make sure and understand that they have their own perspective, and maybe the best course of action is really just to agree to disagree. So that's what I have for you here in this relationship reading. Hope that you have a fantastic day. Thanks for being here with me. And if you like this relationship grid, let me know, and I will do more readings like this. Thanks.